Hi, it's Ethereal Awakening, bringing you an individual zodiac reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Check your North Node. A little disclaimer. I went through some things last night, and Spirit came through loud and clear and wanted me to share this in my videos today. If I say something in my message that triggers you, good. If I help or guide you into some new way of looking at things, or help you in some way, good. I have been left triggered and alone and abandoned enough times to know that that is your higher self, God, source, Spirit's way of bringing your attention to something that needs to be healed. So I'm very happy to trigger anyone. Negative comments or any of that will be ignored. But if I offended you, you needed it. That's from the immortal words of Corey Taylor. Shout out to Stone Sour. But yeah, Leo. Spirit, what messages? Use your heart as your guide. If it resonates, then it's for you. Something in there's for you. If it doesn't, leaves a bad taste in your mouth, it's not for you. Spit it out. Leo, what messages do we have? Spirit, what messages do we have for Leo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus in the sign of Leo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus in the sign of Leo. All right. Thank you in advance. All right. Yeah, make sure this is going right. So we've got the Queen of Cups, current energy. Seven of Rods, current energy. Heart space, Temperance. Eight of Rods, progression here. That's awesome. Spirit guided progression, most definitely. Possible outcome, Two of Pentacles. Two of Swords. So, let's see what this message is. So, whatever these things are, Leo, that is causing you to feel like, I mean, you can see that the Queen is looking away from the defensiveness. So, emotionally, I feel like, Leo, you might not be seeing some red flags. You might not recognize that this defensive nature, this defensive energy that you're in, like every night having to defend yourself for something, is Spirit's way of trying to get your attention. You know, Temperance is Spirit's energy asking you to pay attention to your feelings. You know, this is definitely Archangel Michael coming through and asking you to be patient with yourself and really look into what, because as we see the Seven of Rods in the current energy, and then we go into the Eight of Rods in your heart space. So, you know, inside, there's a little, you know, still small voice that's saying, we want out of this feeling. It's leaving you in your possible outcome with a choice. 2 and 2. We've got some back and forthing, second guessing that's leading to this mental block. And when you're blocked like this, and I do like the Two of Swords. When we have reached a Two of Swords, we are simply allowing something that we think to contain us in a space that we don't want to be in anymore. And this Two of Pentacles in that possible outcome doesn't have to be that back and forth. It can be an integration. You can simply take whatever this thing is, whatever choice this is, whatever thought, whatever belief that you have, Let's look at underlying energy. Four of Cups, Page of Cups, Judgment. This, to me, this is asking in your heart space, you know, that this defensive nature that you've been in, this constantly feeling like, you know, you have to explain yourself, and constantly feeling like you just can't catch a break, like everybody around you's out to get you. That is the big message that I believe that you're maybe not paying attention to, because I mean she's got her cup and she's looking away from it. She's looking away from that, like looking outwards, like saying, well, it's not my fault. This is what I was doing. Even if your defensive nature comes from that honest place, which I think it is. I think, you know, you're just surrounded by people who maybe are not as spiritually advanced as you are. So they're not believing you. They don't care. They don't care really how you feel. And so you have to care, because this is simply a misguided, you know, it's a misunderstood lesson. It's a misunderstood circumstance. So, you know, if you feel this, you know, defensive nature, step back. I think this underlying energy is, you know, when you have the Four of Cups, you're not seeing the forest for the trees. It's like saying, look at the big picture. Take yourself out of the situation and say, is this really worth it to be in this energy, to constantly feel so defensive, even if it's in an honest place? What were you doing last night? Well, I was hanging out with so-and-so. Like, dude, I was, you know, even if you were really, you know, it's coming from, you know, somebody's lack of having that compassion from themselves. And that's really what Spirit is trying to, I believe, show you, is that these people aren't really out to get you. They're just simply not in a place as advanced as you are spiritually, because you've got Michael there with you in your heart space. So I believe you're coming from a fair and honest position, but you're still sitting at this block where if you simply integrate what is going on around you, this defensive nature does not have to continue. You do not have to justify yourself to anyone, Leo. You absolutely do not. Spirit's just asking you to step back and look at the bigger picture and relieve yourself honestly. The mental idea that you are just stuck where you are is just an idea. I'm stuck, you know, taking this from them. No, you're not. Absolutely not. Quit explaining. Quit defending. You know, and let the chips fall where they are, because this right here with the Page of Cups and your underlying energy, Spirit's also asking you to, in those moments where you're being defensive and you're like, really, you know, I was with so-and-so last night and you should apologize, because, you know, but you never get that apologize. This is Spirit asking you to please forgive yourself. Stop the apologizing, because you have nothing to apologize for. You are really coming from a very, you know, fair and honest position. Your truths are right here. Your truths are in the Two of Swords. You simply have to let go of the thought that they've got you stuck. And use the knowledge you have of yourself to put yourself in that other person's shoes, your boss's shoes, your partner's shoes, your family's shoes. Because Spirit says, you've been chosen, Leo. You are chosen. So being in a defensive spot, constantly feeling like you have to defend yourself, you don't have to. Spirit's got you. Just, this is Spirit's way of kind of saying, this is a lesson that once you've learned it, your cup becomes full, and then you now have a lesson to move forward with, something that you can not only remember so you won't be in this position again, but also something that you can help others with. I was right there, sister, boy. It's not worth it to go through. You can be the new bearer of good news to anybody who's in the same position because you've integrated properly the lesson that, you know, Michael's in your heart space and Judgment's in your underlying energy. So Spirit is guiding you very clearly, Leo. Spirit is with you, saying you are chosen. You are not wrong in the why you're defending, but that we're at the 8 of rods, 9-10. We will be overly burdened if we're constantly feeling defensive, and then we go through that cycle again. So we can stop at the 8, integrate and drop a sword, and become really clear that this is an honest position and I'm tired of fighting about it. I'm moving on. So I hope this helped, Leo.